What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Domantas. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is 3antozz. The map is Tropical Mirage. Tropical Mirage is the map. I kind of just like, my brain was like, what is this map? Anyways, this is the semi-finals of the Challengers League. I believe this is the second one that is being played right now. So the winner of this game will go on to play Eric in the finals. Spoilers. I got that in the wrong way. Anyways, if you haven't seen that finals, Eric versus Brickhead, an incredibly fantastic series, go and check it out. Obviously, the loser will have to go and take on the loser of said finals, which you could probably work out now because I'm a silly goose. It's fine though. It's all good. So we got ourselves a Poseidon versus Hades matchup. Both of these guys playing their main gods here. No surprises. It's a very, very interesting matchup. I think this is possibly the first time in this entire tournament we're actually seeing Poseidon versus Hades. The only other Poseidon player really in this tournament is Matreus, and Matreus is probably feeling that his Loki has actually got a better shot at beating Hades than his Poseidon does. And that's not necessarily because Hades versus Poseidon is a winning matchup for Hades. That's not what I'm saying in the slightest. I think this matchup is very equal. It's just that maybe potentially Loki has got a higher chance of beating Hades here. Whether that's true or not, I don't actually fully know. My gut instinct is, of all of the gods currently being played, there are two gods which really shine against Hades, and that is Odin and that is Loki. Thor to some degree as well. But Hades is also, like, at worst, it's like a 48-52 matchup or something. It's really close. Lots of opportunities for Hades to win, and that's why Hades is one of the most played gods thus far in this tournament. So, but we'll see how things are going to go. So 3antozz picking Poseidon. Why is this matchup kind of close? Well, one, it's a mirror matchup, so that's already making it relatively close. And two, there's really not a whole lot separating the Poseidon from the Hades in the late game, which means the whole game plan of the Hades is, if I don't lose, I win. That's kind of how Hades operates. If I don't lose, I win. Which might sound a bit redundant because, of course, if you don't lose, then the only other option is you win. But the point is, like, if I play set, for example, and I just sit back and I don't try and, like, force my opponent to hit the resign button, I am going to start losing the game. And that's the same with a couple of other civilizations, like Atlantean, for example. That's the same there. But with Poseidon's late game, very, very strong. Lots of advantages with the militia, lots of advantages with the Hetairoi, lots of advantages with having Aphrodite, lots of advantages in the late game for Poseidon. But Hades has got one very specific advantage over Poseidon, which is going to be the big key to whether or not Domantas wins or loses this matchup easily, or it's a grind. That's going to be the big one, and the answer here for that thing is Apollo. Poseidon doesn't have access to Apollo, and it is a huge advantage in this matchup. But 3antozz does have access to Ceasefire, so we can play around it to some degree. So effectively, Ceasefire needs to be traded for an Underworld. If you use Ceasefire for anything else, you're kind of in a rubbish position, as we do see the Domantas Ajax coming through, causing some problems. Theseus already out. We see a stable getting dropped straight away here for 3antozz. An interesting first decision. We'll see how this is going to be going. Rushing in against, rushing in with stables, early stables here to try and stop a second town center against Hades as Zeus is a really, really good idea because you can bolt the Chiron. Thank you for the tier 1 there. I can't say that. CDYC0. Thank you so much. So we do see the Centaur going to be able to snipe a villager here. Oh, he misses the arrow as the Minotaur comes in. And Anton's going to have to retreat away. Very, very unlucky there. I'm not sure exactly why that was. Now, back to the point at hand. If you go in with Zeus here, you can cut a town center very easily with Zeus against Hades by bolting the Chiron. In this matchup, though, with Poseidon, you don't have that bolt, so you have to deal with that Chiron being really, really strong. You have to deal with everything else here, and those early Hippocon might not be that useful. But Antos here is gearing up for a second town center, nonetheless, as that Hippocon is going to be coming through, a house is going to be coming down, and his villages are going to be completely safe here. So he's definitely starting this one off as best as he can here, but part of me feels like just getting that town center up a little bit earlier would have been a better option, as the Centaur and the Hippolyta coming through, going to try and pick off villages here as fast as humanly possible. If he picks off 2 villages here and he gets his town center up in the next 30 seconds, it might be a little bit late, as he does manage to pick off the Hippocon, the Minotaur there. And now the Hippocon going to have to retreat back. The town center still hasn't started. Domantas behind 2 villages for a little bit here. But Antos hasn't started his second town center. So that villager deficit that Domantas is in, down 2 villages, is going to be very quickly fixed up. And this early pressure, which Antos has put on, is going to stop. And we'll have to see if Antos can make this work. He's kind of putting himself, even though he's put the pressure on, he's kind of putting himself in a little bit of a disadvantage and a little bit of an advantage at the same point. The disadvantage is that he's going to be behind in income here by the time this town center is up. Domantas is going to have 1 or 2 more villages. The advantage is that he's picked off two villages earlier, which means Domantas is going to be behind the amount of, basically right until now, he's going to be behind those sort of resources. So let's say he's behind, I would guess he's behind about 120 to 160 resources at about this point. So that's going to take a little bit of time for him to catch back up. Right now, in front 3 villages, in front 4 villages. So my guess here, and we'll say 3 villages, my guess here is going to take about a minute for him to catch back up in terms of income before he starts pushing in front. So Antos has got some advantages here in this game to try and find some sort of equilibrium here. As we see Vault of Erebus, Hand Axe coming in. This is very, very... well, this is not quite Nullus Theory. Nullus Theory is to get all of his upgrades before he puts these military buildings down. And also get himself the tower upgrades and everything. But Domantas here just getting himself the upgrades a little bit later. Not that big of a deal, but definitely going to be giving him some advantages here moving forward if Antos decides to not get his own upgrades. So we do see Pickaxe coming through and Archery Range coming down, the Granary coming up as well. And we see an immediate 3rd town center here from Antos. And this is where the strategy is starting to make some sense. This is what Antos's plan has been from the beginning. The early Hippocon, sniper villager or 2. He's technically behind, but he has map control, which means he can grab the other town center in the middle of the map. One thing I would really love to see here from Antos is 1 building on this town center to make sure that there's no possibility for Domantas to sneak that town center up at any point in this game. But this town center being up is going to be a huge advantage for Antos moving forward, as Domantas starting to push forward onto this location here, with the town center going to be getting a little bit of chip damage done as the unit's getting pulled away. 1 Hippocon going down on that position as Antos gets his town center up. He's now 3 town centers, and now Antos is going to be the one catching back up in terms of income here. And that's going to be a really, really nice position for Antos to be in. And Domantas now has to work out, well, he's in a spot that he doesn't really want to be in. Obviously, this town center here and this town center here, they're the middle town centers to grab. He's got the army, he's got the military advantage, he's got the population advantage right now. He's got to use it. The question is, can he get that town center down the bottom or not? As we do see the Hippocon sitting on this town center, making sure that nothing goes astray there. Now, I'm pretty sure that the army composition that wins in the classical age here is Hippocon Toxotes. Hoplites don't beat this composition. The Hippocon are too strong. The Toxotes do too much damage. The Hippocon have got way too much pierce armor against those Toxotes. And generally speaking, the Hippocon will win. But Domantas has got Restoration. Domantas has also got Hades Shades. So it's not enough to just kind of just barely win. You have to win plus, like every 5 kills, you have to kill 1 extra. So the ratio has to be kind of 6 to 5 to be at least equal. And I think that kind of is the case here after the fighting commences. As we see medium infantry coming through, the raids coming in onto this position here. Antozz not in position at all to defend this one. He's going to have to react very, very fast here as the army comes through. Villagers will be getting taken out on this position. A huge amount of idle time has been caused here. 8 villagers plus 12 villagers here that's 20 villagers total being idled, plus a couple of villagers going down here. This is a huge raid, as we do see the Hippocon coming through onto the top side. Domantas has already finished up with the hunt there, and he's already retreating away. As the army coming through here now for Antozz to target down these units, the army going to be retreating away. Think of the raiding party, Soup! Soup, for those of you who don't know, obviously he's an incredibly strong Norse player, but he's also a very, very talented and good-looking YouTuber as well. He's making some great Age of Mythology content. Husk Soup, go check him out. As the game continues along, Antozz getting himself husbandry now. He is behind on the villager count, even though he's in front on the town centers after those raids. As the army now moving into the main base here, Antozz retreating back into his town center. The Hippocon pushing villagers off. Both players are just ignoring each other's army here. Antozz, obviously, this is his game plan here, knowing that fighting the Domantas army might be a little bit challenging for him. There's still Restoration, there's still all the other stuff, but Domantas at this point, he is going to be able to hit a timing here in the Heroic Age and potentially hit a Mythic Age timing after this as well. There's no hunt left, but for Domantas, but he's got all these farms up. So this is kind of advantage Antozz in a way. So let's see how it all ends up coming up here. As the hunt down the bottom here, Antozz hasn't started grabbing Aphrodite, the god of choice here for Domantas, so deciding to not utilize that Apollo advantage that he has. But obviously, Aphrodite is still a really good really good technologies coming with Aphrodite as well, with the faster villager build speed, faster villager move speed as well. Technology with Divine Blood comes unique with Aphrodite. But most importantly, he gets access to Curse here to really punish this army of Antozz. And Antozz at this point, he's struggling to get to that next age. He's got 64 villagers. Domantas is in front on villagers somehow here after just some incredibly good defensive maneuvers. And Domantas has got himself 1,000 food in the bank. The problem here for Domantas is he doesn't have a gold mine at this point. So he's going to have to start defending himself to get himself this gold mine here. He's got, 193 gold left here. He does have a gold mine over here. He's got the wall set up on this position so he could potentially wall up this location to grab this gold mine, or potentially over here he could do the same thing. So we'll see how it's going to go as Aphrodite has come through. I imagine Domantas just throws a market down here and he's going to go Mythic Age. With all of the raids that have come through, Antozz is in a very difficult position. Part of me feels like a ceasefire here from Antozz wouldn't go astray, well, at least after the curse comes down, as we see an immediate fortress getting dropped here for Domantas. Whether he's going to be going for Petropolis here or if he's just setting up for, well, having a very safe gold mine, but B, having access to Heliopolis straight away, remains to be seen, as my body just has a complete spasm there. Fortress now coming up here for Domantas, and the Hippocon cannot stop that one, with the Domantas army looking just that little bit too challenging to deal with. Still, there's a house missing here for Antozz somewhere. I'm not sure why he's not put that one down. 135 population. You can go up to 145 population in the classical age. As the archery range stable coming down now for Antozz. The army coming through here as well. As the Nemean Lion greets those Hippocon, taking them down. At this point, Domantas' defense here he's played this one so nicely from a defensive standpoint. He's actually got himself 80 villagers now as well. And he is setting up the walls, and the Petropolis are coming through here to start sieging this position. He's not even trying to go to the Mythic Age straight away, though he probably could if he wants to throw a market down somewhere. He is indeed doing so. But he could get himself fortified town centers, go up to 140 population here, and effectively be equal in population, like down 5 population, but basically equal in population, 2 town centers versus 3 town centers. As we see raids coming through onto this position, as the villagers have greedily grabbed this hunt without any walls getting set up. Honestly, this is a little bit surprising from 3antozz. He's a really, really strong positional player, and generally speaking, he gets his walls set up. In this game, he has not really gone for that sort of an idea here. As Aphrodite is being clicked, the building's starting to come down. Hephaestus is now on the way for Domantas. Fortified town centers as well on the way, as we are seeing medium cavalry coming through for 3antozz. But honestly, at this point, you almost want to be moving away from the cavalry and going into towers, because that's just how it works. As the army comes through, the villagers getting pushed off of the farms. There's still no watchtowers is up for Domantas, for 3antozz either. So he's in a very, very difficult position where that's concerned, as the militia are just going to be diving in, try and take these units out. The town center going down. Still, there is ceasefire, so 3antozz can drop that down at any point here. But now that the town center over here is getting taken, 3antozz not even checking that one out. There's no advantage remaining here for 3antozz after all is said and done in this game, because he's just given that town center away to Domantas. And Domantas has got himself Hephaestus. He's got himself the fortified town centers. He's got himself the curse. And getting 3 town centers, taking 3antozz down to 2 town centers is just a huge advantage for Domantas here. As the town center does fall, 3antozz might simply just grab the town center back, or is he going to just go Mythic Age here instead? We'll have to wait and see what the actual game plan is, as the Heroic Age has been hit. We do see the villagers coming over onto this position. 3antozz has got some questions to answer here, as the villagers start building the town center up. This town center here is going to get denied for a little bit here, but plenty of Vault coming down. Immediate Forge of Olympus started. Town center has been denied here as well, as the Toxote also getting some damage done onto this position. 3antozz has not been able to send anything over here to deny this one just yet. And we do see the ceasefire coming through for 3antozz, but he's got a long, long road in front of him to stabilize. Getting the town center back up, getting to the Mythic Age, and dealing with the timing of Domantas having fully upgraded armory here is going to be really, really difficult to deal with. Bowsaw, Quarry, Irrigation, everything is coming through here for Domantas as well. Does he have his armory set up? 1, 2, 3. That's going to mean once that Forge of Olympus is done, look at the upgrades. No upgrades here for Domantas. In 2 minutes here, he's going to have full bronze, and 3antozz is only just going to be hitting the Mythic Age. Which also means that basically by the time Forge of Olympus comes through for 3antozz, Domantas is going to be full iron here, most likely. I mean, if Domantas starts his armor upgrades, which he's now starting. There you go. Copper weapons, copper mail, and copper shields all coming through immediately there. As long as he stays on top of that and gets those coming through, that's going to be a very, very difficult position for 3antozz to be in. Not only that, the fact that Domantas has hit the Mythic Age so much earlier than 3antozz here, that Plenty Vault has given Domantas such an income advantage here. Not only that, we also see the Heliopolis out. Domantas' advantages are starting to pile on in a very, very big way here. As 3antozz retreats back, he still doesn't have himself fortified town centers. He's only just clicked it up. The town center getting torn down on this position. As the pole altar pops out, the town center falls. The army of Domantas is so strong right now, full heavy here. And 3antozz in that position decides, yep, the game is over. As, I mean, this game here really came down to one thing. In my opinion here, 3antozz, from a strategical standpoint, played this very, very nicely. I really liked the early Hippicon, sniping a couple of villages, going for the 3 town centers in the middle of the map. I love that play. But after that, from a defensive standpoint and a rating standpoint, Domantas played this so absurdly well. The thing that 3antozz needed to do, basically here, he needed to set up the walls. Once he got that town center up, once he seized the army here of Hoplite Toxotes, he needed to set up the walls. He needed to catch the army out of position with his own army. And I feel like had he just tried to force a fight or something in the classical age, force a restoration, keep his villages nice and safe, get the walls set up all across the map, defending all of his position here, I think he would have been in for a really, really good game here with this strategy. But Domantas here, he played it too well, and 3antozz just could not convert on the position that he managed to find himself in. Great first game here from Domantas, a solid start. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in that next game.